YTPC Padre coming to you via the virtual airwaves of YouTube. And a little bit of a different video today. I was blessed to be able to take delivery on the Vespa, the GTS 300 Touring Edition, and picked it up and drove it home and thought I'd share that video vlog with you. And probably going to do all this from now on over on the new channel, Padre Rider. I'll put a link in the cellar here, you know, I'll keep this channel for pipes and cigars and tobacco and such, and do all the other future vlogging over on Padre Rider. But just thought I'd upload this first one here since I've been talking to you guys about the Vespa. So this is just the pickup and the ride home. Hope you enjoy it. All right. All right, I'm heading. I'm gonna take, how am I gonna do that? I think I'm gonna do a hairpin and get on St. Charles and go home that way. I don't wanna get on the interstate. Look what I lost. Almost lost my collar. Now I'm out of here. Bad. Okay. All right, so now we're in 5 o'clock traffic, of course. Gotta love that. And there's my buddy who dropped me off. You call for an Uber? Simon Bolivar. I think we'll cut over. Or do we? We're going to go through the hood. Holy crap. New Orleans needs to fix their streets. That's all I'm going to say. Oh my gosh. Potholes. You could swallow a frickin' SUV in them. There's the infamous blue bikes over there. And I don't have my GPS hooked up at the moment, so I'm kind of doing this on my own memory of these back streets of the city as I'm looking for St. Charles Avenue. Oh my gosh, these roads suck. And I think St. Charles is going to be our next light, and that'll get us heading toward the suburbs, get on River Road, and take it in from there. All right. The good news is that's St. Charles Avenue. And the good news there is they've been working on it and making the roads a little nicer than this crap that we've just been on. Hopefully it won't be quite as bumpy. Right, Houston's to our right, and the Walgreens up here on the left is Zion Lutheran Church, if I'm not mistaken. Zion is Missouri Synod Lutheran. And we're not too far away from coming up on the cathedral, Christ Church Cathedral on St. Charles Avenue. That's a few blocks down. And there's a Vespa off to the right. And coming up here on my right, not a Vespa, but a puppy dog riding. That's kind of cool. Alright, here we are approaching Washington Avenue at St. Charles. And coming up on our right is the Cathedral, Christ Church Cathedral, beautiful church in the Anglican tradition. Lots of old, historic, and beautiful churches up and down St. Charles Avenue in New Orleans. Of course, to my left is what everyone in the rest of the world might call a median. We here in New Orleans call a neutral ground. And on that neutral ground, we'll also have, we'll see streetcars, not trolleys. Trolleys are in San Francisco. These are streetcars, and they actually hook up to the wires atop, and that's how they get their power. That dude, I don't know what he's doing. Looking for Waldo? Or Pokemon? Oh man, nothing like a New Orleans red light, huh? Come on. There we go. These bumps. Yeah, so you can see they're working on trying to make the roads a little better. I gotta be real careful because it's a big slant to my right. I don't know if you can see that in the road, but it's not even. Not even at all. It's very uneven. So we're gonna hang out in the left portion of the lane, which of course is where the manhole covers are. And the other thing that I've got to be careful of is because they're doing this work, there is gravel everywhere, and so I'm even rethinking this route. This is smoother than the roads we were on, but the gravel from the work being done is not making it all that comfortable. Just requires a little extra precaution. Damn manholes. And up here on the right, nice little place to eat. Used to be called the 4141, then it became Cannon's, and now it's New Orleans Hamburger and Seafood Company. 4141 St. Charles Avenue. Good menu. We got over here on the left one of the synagogues on St. Charles Avenue, and I forget which one that is. And over there is Fat Harry's, a favorite college bar. Crossing Napoleon and St. Charles. It's nice to be in the shade of these huge old oak trees on St. Charles on this summer evening, I'll tell you that. St. George's Episcopal Church off to our left that we just passed there. Beautiful home on the right. Beautiful homes up and down St. Charles Avenue. I don't know all the exact houses, but there's some famous folks that reside in some of these houses. The Bensons, Mr. Benson, who recently passed away, the owner of the New Orleans Saints and New Orleans Pelicans, has a house out here, and Drew Brees actually has a house right off of St. Charles on one of the private streets. Barbara Streisand, I think that might have been her house we just passed. Barbara Streisand has a house out here. Brad Pitt's got a house out here. Lots of folks who have a little bit of the narrow, and at least part of the year want to call New Orleans their home. Have some homes in this area here on St. Charles Avenue. And there's a streetcar, right on time. And another red light. And that's the Jewish Community Center right over there. And now we're getting to a stretch of St. Charles where the road has not been redone, and you can see how bumpy it is. Well, it's been redone, but it's patchwork. Bits, pieces here and there. And it makes for a bumpy ride on two wheels. It makes for a bumpy ride on four wheels. Let's not kid ourselves. It's just something you got to pay a little bit more attention to when you're on two wheels. On four wheels, you may end up having to get a front end alignment. On two wheels, you may end up landing in front of your front end. That would not be good. St. Paul's United Church of Christ off to the far left back there, and saw that sign as we passed it. St. Francis of Assisi Church off to our left that we just passed as well. It's a Roman Catholic parish. And up here on our right, we're coming up on another Jewish synagogue. That one is Temple Sinai. I know the name of that one. And to our left is Disciples of Christ. I think that one is called, I don't know what it's called. St. Charles Avenue, I believe, Christian Church, Disciples of Christ. And to our right, we're coming into the universities. That's going to be Loyola University on our right, followed by the St. Charles side of Tulane University. And to the left, on St. Charles, we're seeing Audubon Park. And on the back side, if we go all the way over, if we were to cut through to the left, we would see, we'd pass Magazine Street and we'd come into Audubon Zoo. before we hit the Mississippi River. It's a huge piece of land, beautiful piece of property, very well cared for. I'm gonna have to do a little MotoVlogging from there at some point. We're passing Loyola's on-campus chapel right there on the right. That's Holy Name of Jesus. Beautiful church, beautiful sanctuary. They call it a chapel, but it's larger than most churches, to tell you the truth. I don't know what that noise is that I'm hearing. It's a weird sound. I may have to pull over, because I don't know what that is. Got a weird noise just kicked on. I'm going to turn it off, turn it back on, see what that is. Don't know what that was. Don't know what that noise was at all. Let's restart it and see. It must be the fan. Must be a fan that kicked on. I guess it's supposed to make that noise. I'll give a phone call. I'm going to assume that noise is supposed to be there. It's a fan blowing through the vent. So I guess it just finally hit a temperature where it needed to kick on.
All right.
So I'm hopping back in traffic.
All right.
All right, thanks, bye. Tell you, as we're getting to a point where the sun is starting to set a little lower now in the sky, and a little bit of a cloud cover setting in with these nice, beautiful oaks, it's actually comfortable when we're at a moving speed. You get a little breeze, and so much so that that fan just kicked off. I guess that's what that is. I think the Italians engineered this quite well. It was getting a little warm, and now we've gotten a little cool as we're moving a little more, and that fan has kicked off, or at least slowed some. It's not in its high gear like it was where we're hearing it, and I think that's all it was. I'll have to look that up when we get home. I think we're good. And we're getting ready to come to the conclusion of St. Charles Avenue. Off to our left is St. Charles Avenue Baptist Church. Another beautiful sanctuary. I mean, all these old churches are just gorgeous. We're going to be coming to the end of St. Charles Avenue, and what that's going to do And then that fan just kicked back on. That's going to bring us to River Road. And we're going to get on River Road and take that into the suburbs. We're going to be traveling the Mississippi right now. The Mississippi River is to our left. And the Mississippi is also straight ahead, immediately in front of us. That's because of the bend in the river, which is why New Orleans is known as the Crescent City, because of that bend. It's a crescent shape to it. So the river's to our due left. The river is also directly in front of us, and we're going to be getting on River Road in about another, I don't know, maybe, probably not a mile, 3/4 of a mile. And that fan kicked back off. It's a noisy little bugger when it comes on. So I guess it's doing what it's designed to do, and that's a good thing. Nothing wrong with that. I will, of course, look it up in the book when we get home and Google it, because everything you read on Google is true. Everybody knows that, right? So the question becomes, while riding around on a Vespa in the city of New Orleans and recording on a GoPro, does it seem weird to be talking to yourself? Actually, it did at first, it doesn't now. The Madeleine to our right, and over there is one of the probably best known greasy spoons, 24 hours a day, Azalea Kitchen. And probably make sure I don't get hit by a daggone streetcar, because there's one coming down there. But that's a place that is often frequented by people who are trying to wrap up the evening or the night or the morning, as the case may be, after having a couple of cocktails and desiring some sort of food. We're going to go ahead and take it. All right, that's a good thing. This thing has got some nice pickup. That was just probably 1/8 of a twist of the throttle and got me through there. I'm not sure I would have done that in my SUV, to tell you the truth. And there's that dag-blasted fan kicking back on again. And I guess as we get moving again in traffic on River Road, which is where we're headed, we're going to be taking a right on a River Road now. It'll get some air moving through it. And it is likely to kick back off again. And so I got my buddy Jay. Is 2 cars in front of me, not that front car, but the one right in front of that. He got in front of me when I pulled off on St. Charles when I first heard that weird noise. And bumps. All right. You just got to watch out for those. And those folks who are taking turns, got to watch out for them too. I'll tell you, one good thing about the Vespa is that headlight is LED and the running lights are LED, and you theoretically should not have problems being seen. I say theoretically because it's really up to the other driver though, and today I don't think roadways are any safer today than they were 50 years ago. We've made all sorts of improvements, but the variable that seems to have kept them unsafe is technology, and it's cell phone usage. And it's not even cell phone usage as much as it is things like texting and people using social media and other apps while they're on their cell phone. Because you can talk hands-free, you know, and let's see if I can move that microphone. All right, I guess it's out of the way. Hope it's not doing too much rubbing. So you can talk hands-free on the cell phone and, you know, not have any problems. It's when they start texting. And that's an issue even for, not even just folks on two wheels, an issue for people in other cars in cages, as the two-wheelers like to say. And for pedestrians, the amount of pedestrians, people on foot, like right over there, they're on their phone, and you know, they're about to walk out. Well, they're not. I guess they're not walking over here. They're on their phone, and they've got in their hand some sort of nice little cold treat. I don't know if it's snowballs or daiquiris. Let's assume for a moment it's daiquiris. That's putting them at a disadvantage in terms of watching for traffic and such, and being distracted by their cell phones and walking out into the roadway. And it's just, I don't think people realize the dangers that face them with what I would call a misuse of common daily technologies. But that's just my soapbox. I'm going to lift this visor because, man, whew, it's hot. We're moving, it's not so bad. But it's hot and humid today. Got to get that clock fixed on the dashboard because I don't know what time it is. I just know it's not 12 o'clock like it says. All right. Let's get over the train tracks. And let's cross into Jefferson Parish, out of Orleans Parish. As we come into Jefferson Parish, we're in the city of Old Jefferson. From Old Jefferson, we'll go into Metairie, which is my home town. Close that visor back. Don't know what the speed limit is on River Road, but since I was just approaching 50, I'm pretty sure I need to back down because I don't think it's any higher than 40, maybe 45, could even be 35, I'm not sure. I probably need to pay greater attention to that. It's almost, you know, you get used to what it feels like to go a certain speed in your car. You're on two wheels and you're enjoying the breeze. It can be a little bit deceptive. Now, I don't know what my buddy Jay did. I'm going to take a route that I know, turning here on Barry, so I can avoid that big hospital up ahead and just shoot on over to Jefferson Highway. And that will give me the option of either taking Causeway to West Metairie, or I could take Jefferson all the way up to Central, and Central becomes Houma Boulevard. So I've got all kinds of options to get myself. I don't know how he did this, but he's behind me. At least I think that's him behind me. He must have pulled over. I thought he was in front of me. Well, he was in front of me. Somehow or another. He got behind me. I don't think he trusts me on this thing. All right, let's use our turning indicator. Let's get ourselves on Jefferson Highway. We got 3 lanes to choose. We got a crowload of traffic coming our way in this S-turn, though. And I really don't want to get run over by a school bus, so we're going to at least wait for that. Let's see, it looks like we got some clearance. We got clearance, Clarence. Roger, huh? And don't call me Shirley. Oh, man. Diesel fumes. I've got to get away from this bus. Oh, goodness gracious. That is one of the drawbacks of being, you know, in the open, the diesel fumes. Getting behind a school bus. Alright, so we're on the front side of that hospital I told you I wanted to avoid on River Road, just because there's a lot of traffic this time of the day with people leaving work and such. And this gives us 3 lanes to alleviate that traffic as opposed to River Road, which is a lovely little route, but with that 1 lane it can get congested in the evening time. If I can get in front of this school bus, I will be feeling good. I'll jump back over in that right lane, but I just don't want to be right behind him like that Tacoma is. If I were in that spot, good Lord, the fumes I would be breathing. That's a CVS up there. For what it's worth, I got my blinker on, I'll shut that off. For what it's worth, this is a long time ago, but prior to Hurricane Katrina, that was a Taco Bell. There's the strange things you remember. That Taco Bell never did make it back after the hurricane. It sat as a vacant area, and sooner or later CVS, CVS is on every corner. Usually across the street from them is Walgreens, cat corner. And poor Rite Aid. Rite Aid's about to ain't there, be there no more. Ain't there no more. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, now if we can just squeeze in front of this school bus. We can't lane split in Louisiana. Why does my blinker keep coming on? Cancel out. I want to get in front of that bus. I don't want to be breathing his fumes. Of course, I don't want to get right in front of him where he can, like, squash me. I'm going to take it. All right. And get ourselves on Causeway Boulevard now. And I have no idea what the placement of this camera is like right now, or has been on this entire trip. It could be totally unusable footage. I really have no idea of the quality of this audio. You could hear me breathing and then my lips running into the microphone. I've got to get the setup a little better. I probably need to take it down a notch too. I was just at 50 miles an hour, and I know Causeway is a little slower than that. I'm just keeping up with traffic though. That's my excuse if I get pulled over. And I do know that some of the YTPC have talked about going to Vegas for the pipe show, and that there's some Vegas odds on how many traffic violations Padre's going to commit on the 2 wheels. From what I understand from Philip Breyer report, I believe it's, I don't know if it's OTC Piper or his brother Catholic Pipesetter. One of those apparently is running the show on the books. Just a little humor, just kidding. Phil did say that though. Give those guys a shout out. Love me some YTPC. All right, we're going to be taking our turn up here to the left onto West Metairie from Causeway Boulevard. That's going to put us almost home. Almost home. This guy's going to try a lane split and an escape. He's from Texas, though. So, all right, it's a green light. We can all go. Come on, folks. you ever think about how much of your life you spend at a red light? Could be a sermon in that. Could we make better use of our time at red lights? I don't know. Alrighty. Yes, we are dangerously close to being home now. Now, my buddy Dr. J, who was kind enough to bring me to pick this thing up and has escorted me home, he's riding behind me now. He lives up here off West Metairie on Belmont, and so what I think I'm going to do is lead him home. And I'm only a mile or so away from his house, to tell you the truth. So... one of these streets is his. That's North Turnbull. That's not it. Belmont. Belmont came up on me kind of quick. If I remember correctly, he's got a cop. The Popo lives right there in his block, so I probably want to make sure I'm doing the speed limit. I don't have a brake tag, what we call a brake tag down here in Louisiana, although people call it an inspection sticker. I don't have it. You know, I don't think there's a catch-22. I'm assuming I've got some time. I mean, I just drove this thing off the lot, so... Did I just pass his house? No. What's his address? He's behind me, so he's something 08. 14, 15, 08? Is he 15, 08? That's going to be him up here. He's still behind me. He didn't pull into a driveway, so... 1612. No, that's not him. Where the heck? His house looks a lot like that. That's the problem. All these houses look alike. Some architect was very uncreative. There he is. That's his house. No, that's not his house. That's the trick house, isn't it? Is that the trick house? That's the trick house. The one that looks just like his, that's not his. Oh, maybe that was his house, because he pulled off. Turn this puppy around and go see. Never remember. You got several of these houses look exactly the same.
How's the ride?
It was good, except for I took that little detour to get to St. Charles.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King and whatever that other.
Yeah, rough streets.
Well, yeah, rough neighborhood too. Yeah, I tried to do it as quickly as I could. Yeah, so there's a fan.
Okay.
That kicked on, and it does it when I sit still for a little bit, and it goes whee, and it blows out over here. And I guess it's doing what it's supposed to do. But when it first came on, that's when I pulled over. I'm like, that is a weird sound. And then when I started moving again, it kicked itself off.
Yeah.
So it hadn't been on in a while until we got to that causeway red light. And then we sat there for a few minutes and it came on. And once you start moving again, about 10 seconds after, I guess it gets air circulating through it and it shuts itself off. It's the way the AC is definitely in need of some Freon. So, well, good deal. I appreciate your help, man. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, they look cool going down the street.
Yeah. Yeah. This was the crash bars I had put on extra. And I'm probably going to end up getting the front fender crash bars too. It keeps it safer. If you do drop it or bump it, you hear it? Yeah.
Where are you going to keep it?
I got an empty shed. There's nothing in the shed.
Oh, the shed.
The shed is totally empty, yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of seat now. You don't keep it outside.
Yeah, now I got a cover for it and all.
All right.
Yeah. So, but even the leather seat is now covered under the with that that coating they put. There's a coating they put on a leather seat too that puts it under warranty.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, lifetime, sweet. All right, let me get on home.
All right, go get Maddie a ride.
Yep. Yeah, I'll catch you later.
All right.
Thanks again.
Videos, pictures, so.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah. All righty. Might be one of those days where you just have to skip dinner and ride. You know what I mean? Would that be wrong? I don't think so. I don't think so. This is what you gotta do. Oh man, that breeze feels nice and that fan just kicked off. Oh, in the shade. It feels so good. Hello, Mr. Truck. Glad you saw me. I tell you, I would never consider riding something like this without a helmet, but I can see how nice it would feel to ride without a helmet. If somebody could invent a helmet that gives you all the protections of having a helmet, but all the feel of not having a helmet on your head, the wind blowing, oh, that would be so nice. Somewhere there's got to be an engineer who's configured this out, and I suspect it's probably going to come from Germany. Maybe Italy. I don't know. That would just be nice, wouldn't it? Now we're going to pull into my subdivision. I'm just amazed at how quickly the pickup on this thing. Oh, you know, this is a 20-mile-an-hour street, and I took that turn, and the next thing I knew, I was above 30 miles an hour, and you just don't even know it. It's sweet, but you got to be careful because you don't want to get a speeding ticket or worse on a vehicle like this. So this is the speed limit, 20 miles an hour, and it just feels like, you know, it's so much more enjoyable to go just a little faster. You know, that's how motorcyclists get in trouble. That is exactly how two-wheelers get themselves in bad situations. Close. All right, and one more stop sign to go. And we're home.